All right, here it is. The stock market's about ready to crash. I'm looking at this and I'm not believing we're going to make it to the end of the month. In fact, I'm going to target my birthday as crash day. Why? Well, I'll build a case for it and kind of tell you exactly why I'm thinking this. So this all started about 6 months ago when I started to hear, and when I attend these meetings, I listen to them differently than everybody else does. Everybody else is speaking about, their prophecies and their visions and whatever. I'm listening kind of in the way that Cliff High listens or pays attention. I'm listening for keywords, I'm listening for patterns, I'm listening for consistencies, and then I draw my own conclusions. So I'm basically studying the studiers, as it were. And so I've been watching and watching and watching for about 6 months or so. And this is my opinion. This is not a London Sawyer official position. London Sawyer is the 21 group. This is not their position. This is my position, so I can say what I want to say about this. I've been hearing a lot of things such as worst financial situation in 100 years. Think about that for a second. Um, you know, Point of no return, and just keyword, 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 and I write them down in a little book, and I start to sew them together and mix my own little gestalts. I like to call them gestalts, my own little things together, my own little thought together with that. And it hit me at last night's meeting. What I can't give the specifics, but last night there was some stuff said that kind of pretty much stitched it all together for me, and it got me to go back. Somebody mentioned, the 1929 stock market crash, and I just had a thought that hit me. Go back and look at the patterns. Go back and look at the patterns of the 1929 stock market crash. So I did. Well, obviously, if you're in the know, and historians are in the know now, sort of through the lens of history, and so they leave clues as to what's going on. We didn't just wake up on Black Monday, 1929, and the market closed. There were a series of events and a chain reaction, if you will, that led up to that. Well, every chain reaction has its first initial spark. So when was that spark? Well, as it turns out, I told you this, and I am on record. You heard me say this. I told you that what happens, people were fearful of the 23rd, 24th, and I told you in exact words, I said, whatever happens something will be big, but it won't be something you see. Here's what's about to unfold. And let me tell you what, this is going to be the grand high, I told you so. I don't think there's anyone that's putting this together, to kind of pat myself on the back. Uh, Here's the deal. If you go back and you study the 1929 stock market crash, it had its origins. Black Monday started on the 24th of October of that year. Today is the 24th of October in this year. So that means pulling forward, boom, 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 boom. Black Monday, my birthday, October 30th, 2023. We are about to see a stock market crash within 98%, 99% probability within 48 hours of those dates. You're likely now what, we live in a modern news cycle. I have a feeling it's going to happen here. The public's not going to know about it till after 5 o'clock or first thing in the morning on a Tuesday. It's going to happen right here. The big boys are going to be taking their exits right here. I promise you this. I promise you this. So I bring this to you for consideration. Um, Here's what I'm going to tell you, and this is the last time that I can tell you, and I've told you and told you and told you and told you, but I'm going to repeat it one more time because we got some new people coming into the group that obviously miss things and whatever crypto's moving. New people have come or old people have come back to kind of check in. You may be hearing this for the first time. I'm telling you this much right now. So let me pull up a couple of other things because I want to be ready to just roll with it here. Let me go ahead and pull up Platinum Bro. No, actually, I already had it. So, all right, all right. So, if you have any money in the banks at all, that needs to stop right now. You need to go to the bank first thing in the morning, and I'm talking to a worldwide audience here. This is not just going to be an America thing. This is going to be all over the damn world thing. You need to go to the bank and pull out all of your money, all of it, right now. If you wrote a check, obviously don't be a degenerate dirtbag and bounce checks, but cover your checks. Take everything else out. Everything. I'm not joking about this. Now, to go further on this subject, if you have any stocks or bonds or bearer bonds or annuities, life insurance that you've been paying into, cash it out. You have less than 100 hours before Friday gets here. You have about roughly less than 100 hours before Friday, 5 o'clock America time. Cash it out. If I'm wrong, the worst that can happen is you're holding cash you could put into a better investment, because everything I'm urging you to take out doesn't give you the rates of return that other things can, like silver. Let's transition to silver for a second. This has been setting up and the dominoes are ready to fall. Let me show you this. We are wave 2 down. We pinged slightly off of my blue bottom, and I did make a purchase. 50% sits right on that line, 100% sits right on that line, and let's get that moved over here a little bit. And there it is. And there's Oracle making a call for $29.36 with a 50% right here. So I'm just cutting it a little bit lower and telling you at 25.40 and 29.40. Prices are going to skyrocket here pretty damn quick. This will be cause and effect. So you're going to see a blast on silver. Can it happen? Yes, it absolutely can happen, because you've seen it right here. It happened right here. If it happened once, it'll happen twice. Call that an opening move, closing move. This move opened and it never closed. It's very possible this is a closing move that's going to go skyrocket. If you take this velocity right here and you set it over here, you're probably going to find a dead-on match. But more to the point, life insurance. Let's talk about life insurance, because I live in the insurance capital of America, in the Midwest, and or I'm residing, I should say. I live overseas, but I can tell you by the local discussions that I have, and I know quite a few people that are in, my insurance man, John. I talk to him all the time. He's a good friend of mine, and he ain't feeling too good about the future. But here's what I'm going to tell you about insurance. It's going to be a chain reaction. When the stock market goes down, it's going to spread. It's going to spread into the bond market, and that's the bad shit. When the bond market takes its hit, which will probably be in November, it's over, gang. It's over. Bonds, to go back and remind you what a bond is, it's a personal loan. It's personal loans from business to business, business to consumer, consumer to a consumer. It's the liquidity that keeps business floating. If bonds go down, everything goes down. Behind that, and actually above it, is the insurance industry. The insurance industry, if you have a heart attack or you have whatever, you have to cash and you die, and they want to cash in your insurance, guess where they get that money from? The banks. If the banks are closed, if the banks are insolvent, how are they? And it's going to be one thing after another, after another, after another. One business leaning on another, and they're all failing, and the whole thing goes like a house of cards straight in the toilet. I'm telling you, it's coming. It is upon us. We are now at D-Day. I'd like to be screaming this right now so you can understand how fervent I am about this, but Chase is sleeping in the other room. I'm trying not to wake him up. But I'm telling you right now, this is it. There's no ambiguity about this. We are here. It has arrived. Now, one other thing I want to tell you about here. Let me collect my thoughts here for just a second. To cash in life insurance policies, if you cashed in a life insurance policy, I would sincerely suggest that you heed my words, because you've paid. If you have one of those policies that you can borrow against, do it, because they're not going to pay you anything like taking all that money and going buying something that you can hold in your hand. This move right here will outstrip anything you will lose, or they will pay you over multiple years. Let me show you this. From here to here, that's a 30% move. There ain't a goddamn insurance company in the world that's going to pay you anywhere close to that. Hear what I'm saying, folks. Cash in those life insurance policies because right now you're making loans to a company that's about to go insolvent. They're going to take their money, close their doors, pay their executives, and they're going to parachute out and leave you holding the bag. Get your goddamn money out of these insurance companies, out of these banks, and out of these stocks and bonds and everything else you've got wrapped up. Your 401ks, cash them in. You have about 100 hours to do this, as I see it. If I'm wrong, you'll still be in a better position putting it in something better. There is no downside to my suggestion. It's just a suggestion. It's not a recommendation because I'm not a financial person. You know the deal. But I have excuse me, absolutely nothing in my checking account, in my banking account, nothing. It's all in this house because I am ready. I am ready. Get your food, get your life in order. You've got 100 hours or less before this comes to pass to make this happen. And then through the weekend, and then come Monday or Tuesday, we're going to see this start to happen. I truly, truly believe it. The stock market started its historical crash 1929, the Thursday prior on the 24th, and everybody and y'all heard how the wealthy quietly exited the market, and then the stock market crashed. Well, quietly exiting the market, it takes a little while for word to get around from the wealthy, but the 24th or 25th, 26th, 27th, this is your operation. This is your exit right here. If you're not taking your exit on these 3 days here, this 100 hours, it's unlikely you're ever going to get out. So follow my instructions to the letter because you're going to thank me for it. This is what you pay me for. This is why I'm here, is to share my wisdom and my knowledge and my connections with you. One last thing, I did call my banker buddies and shared this with them today and totally blindsided them. They didn't even see it. And these are people that are running the helm of major banks, didn't even realize there was a historical connection. These are people that are running major multi-billion dollar companies, banks, didn't even see the historical connection. What are you learning in college? You know what I mean? Um, and when I said that, actually one of them cashed in his options. I'm like, good boy, took them all, took them all. He got some funny looks, but he cashed all his options in, put it into gold. Good boy, good move. So, um, I hate doing this at midnight because I know a lot of you guys want to do something actionable right now. Now, here's the last thing I want to share with you because I want to make sure I cover all the exits for you guys because this is my job and I'm very proud of what I do for you guys. Um, don't trust the exchanges. I mean, that's getting to be old hat at this point in time, but I want to explain to you why you don't trust the exchanges right now. Let me explain how the chain of causality will screw you, even though you may think you're safe or you're insulated because crypto's going up. Yes, it probably will. It probably will. But let me explain something. Let's just take an average shady exchange. Oh, I don't know, Coinbase. Why would they be of concern to you? And this is why I've been harping broker, broker, broker at you. And because of this. So let's take Coinbase as a business. Let's assume that I'm right. Monday we crash, stock market goes down. The chain of causality behind that will be it'll start to lead to the banks and to the bonds and to the stocks and to all that stuff like that. And you're going to see closures and you're going to see shutdowns and you're going to see illiquidity and it's just going to be a shit show. In the meantime, you got businesses, and Coinbase is a business, trying to run their business, trying to access their funds because, let's say, Red Baron sees a gigantic profit in crypto, decides to cash out, and I put in an order on my cash out, and all of a sudden what used to be 3 or 4 days is now like, yeah, we can't give you any money for like a month or, and it could happen. Or maybe not at all, or they could go insolvent because here's the thing. The dirty unspoken secret about Coinbase and all these other exchanges, they have bank accounts. They are invested in stocks. They are invested in bonds. The word is diversified. They're not all in crypto. So when everything goes down, Coinbase and all these others are going to take the same goddamn hit, the same one, and they're going to take your money and your crypto with it. So Don't have your stuff in a standard brokerage or in a standard exchange. Don't do it. Get in a brokerage because a broker is a different animal altogether. Yes, they have bank accounts, but they also have a network of people like me, like my wealthy buddies, like my wealthy banker friends, like my, people I do real estate with. They don't even need a bank to do business in crypto. And the thing is they are completely insured, air quote that because insurance is what it is, like I just said. But here's the main issue. You can get on the phone when the whole world is melting down and call Andrew, who is my guy, and say, Andrew, are we good? Yeah, we're good because they keep it in house. Basically, they're holding on to it. It's not, and they have access to every single exchange on the planet. This is what I haven't really explained to you guys. When you are with Caleb and Brown, you're not with Coinbase, you're not with Kraken, you're not with Binance, you're not with MEXC, you're not with, you know, whatever, all these other, you're with all of them because Caleb and Brown is a gateway to all of these because their trade platform accesses all of these. So if one exchange goes down, you don't have to educate yourself. Caleb and Brown has to do the dirty work. You just trade with them. They'll find where the trades are working. They have people. You're just one person or two people if you're married. They're a whole network of people in different continents. Now, I had a little different conversation also with Andrew, and this is completely off script here. Um, talking with Andrew about how London has we have some European subscribers, family members here that try to get in. They're like, I can't subscribe with Caleb and Brown because they just recently got they're over in England. They can't get into Caleb and Brown, and so they have an office over there. And so, candidly, this is the kind of stuff that I hear that you never will. He's like, yeah, they basically just poisoned the well over there. They're very unfriendly to crypto. So I'll give you a breaking story that nobody else knows. Caleb and Brown is about ready to open up an office in America. So if you're scared at all that Caleb and Brown is going away, they're about ready to move a billion-dollar business over to the shores of America. You heard it here first. So if you want that link again, you can go up in the chat. We'll make it available. Ask me because it is a good life raft in the midst of all this. There's no 100%, but as I see it with my understanding of all the pieces and parts in place, it's the safest place to have your crypto. So specifically, if you're trading on Coinbase like I am right now, tomorrow, first thing, I'm moving my live trade. I'm back in HBAR. It's going to cost me a couple bucks to move it, probably. To move it, well, it won't cost me anything over there, but basically, I'm going to move it from Coinbase first thing in the morning over to Caleb and Brown, and I'm going to leave it as a live trade. I'm in the market right now. I actually own a couple million HBAR, so I'm going to move that couple million HBAR over to Caleb and Brown, and I'm going to enter. I'm just going to let it sit and let it ride, and I'm going to enter stop losses with those guys because you can do that. And so that's how I've got my protected. But as for me and the rest of my, whatever, if it's not in this house, I'm not worried about it, and neither should you be. So you should have everything out of financial institutions immediately because, the worst is upon us very, very quickly, is my belief.